This is a handheld laser welder. It welds much faster and cleaner than traditional MIG, stick or TIG welding. But if you don't use it properly, things can go bad really fast. Today I'm testing some of the worst things that could happen while using one of these. What happens if you hit your hand, your foot, your phone? Can it start a fire? Can anything actually stop the beam? Let's start with probably the most common mistake. You're holding the workpiece with one hand and accidentally hit your finger with the laser. Since I'd like to keep all 10 fingers, I'm using a hot dog instead. Well, that happened almost instantly. I was trying to make the world's worst weld, instead I made the world's fastest hot dog cutter. Definitely not something you want happening to your hand. Now let's say you're wearing basic work glove, you know, the thin fabric ones that somehow end up in every garage. Will it protect your hand? Let's see. Nope. The glove didn't make much of a difference. The laser went right through it. Alright, let's give the laser an actual challenge. This is a proper working leather glove. That's definitely better. The leather slowed it down, but it still burned through. So yeah, leather helps, it just doesn't make you invincible. Now let's test something that is actually designed to protect you. Safety glasses. Does the laser go through them, or does it destroy them first? There's not a lot of damage on the watermelon itself, but the glasses didn't survive. The watermelon actually absorbed the remaining heat pretty well. The glasses, not so much. They are completely melted. Definitely don't expect the regular safety glasses to stop a laser like this. If the safety glasses didn't survive, does an old plastic work helmet have any chance? Nope. About 2 seconds. That's all it took. Actually, it did even worse than the glasses. This is the one I've been waiting for. Most of us carry our phone in our pocket while we are working. So what happens if the laser hits it? Will the battery explode? Let's find out. Well, the phone catches fire almost immediately. Even after I turned the laser off, it just kept burning, so I had to put it out with water. The screen is completely destroyed, but somehow the beam never made it all the way through. Maybe something inside the screen reflected the laser. Honestly, I don't know, so naturally I tried again. Closer, with more power. Still no explosion. At this point there was only one thing left to do. Take the battery out and shoot it directly. That was way less exciting than I expected. Lots of smoke, no explosion, still probably not something you want to breathe, you know. Now let's say you don't notice your skin burning right away. What happens when the laser reaches the bone? For this test I'm using a chicken bone. Yeah, that was pretty much what I expected. The laser starts damaging it almost immediately. But what if the bone is surrounded by meat, like an actual finger? So I stuck the bone inside of a hot dog. Would you look at that? The hot dog actually protects the bone surprisingly well. My guess is the water inside the meat absorbs most of the laser's energy before it even reaches the bone. We'll see water doing that a few more times today, you know. Now let's talk about foot protection. These are my very professional workshop shoes. Safety inspectors, please look away. What happens if I miss the welding table and hit my foot? First, I'll keep the laser a little further away. The beam spreads out, so there's less energy in one spot. Nothing. Honestly, leather did better than I expected. Now let's move a little closer. And there it is. Not nearly as bad as the thin glove, but I'd still rather not have my foot inside of those shoes. Turns out, distance matters a lot. Now let's test what most people actually wear in the garage. A pair of regular sneakers. Comfortable, yeah. Laser-proof, not even close. Hot dog goes inside, and here we go. Yep, straight through. Our hot dog foot didn't stand much of a chance. If you needed an excuse to buy proper work boots, here it is. Most of us don't wear welding pants. Usually it's just jeans. So I put a chicken wing inside the pocket because apparently that's normal around here. The laser burned straight through the jeans, set them on fire, and lightly cooked the chicken wing. So no, jeans are definitely not laser safety equipment. Now let's say you accidentally point the laser towards some trees. I found some really dry spruce cones. These should catch fire almost instantly, right? Surprisingly, not really, so I added some dry branches. It looked promising for a second, but it still wasn't nearly as dramatic as I expected. That actually surprised me. After destroying some random things, I got hungry. So let's cook a chicken leg with a laser. It doesn't look nearly as good as the steak I made in the last video, but technically it is food. Okay, imagine you've got something important behind a leather apron. For this experiment, we'll use 2 eggs. The leather actually did a really good job. The eggs barely got damaged. Now let's remove the apron and see what damage can be done without it, you know. Yep, instant breakfast, which gave me another idea. Can I actually cook eggs with a laser? Huh, we'll find out in another video. This next one completely surprised me. What happens if you shoot the laser straight at a full bottle of water? Look at that. The bottle barely takes any damage. Instead, the water acts like a giant magnifying glass and burns the paper behind it. But the cap burns if I hit it directly. I still wasn't convinced with the phone experiment, so here's another phone battery, round 2. And still no explosion, just lots of smoke and burning. Definitely not something you want to do indoors, so let's put that out before it gets worse. Alright, I'm hungry again. Let's make dinner, hot dog, eggs, laser. Is this the best way to cook? Absolutely not. Is it the most expensive way to cook? Probably. Would I do it again? Yeah, maybe. So after burning through gloves, shoes, jeans, phones, helmets, eggs, and way too much food, I'd say one thing is pretty clear. This laser doesn't care what you put in front of it. Leather helps, water helps even more, and common sense is still the best safety equipment you cannot buy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.